Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Yonathan. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakudash. I want to give double honors to apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon you. All right, so I got a clip I want to show you guys for some context. There's two inventors, a guy named Moses West. I'm going to get the name of the other guy. And I want to bring out some points for you to think about. You know, how this world works, how the wicked rule. Okay, but let's run the clip first with no further ado. Okay, so this is the man Moses West who created a machine that takes the water out of the air and creates gallons of water from just the air. All right. And I remember when he first started out in Detroit, he was in Flint. A lot of people just kept vandalizing his machine. And he was saying in the interview, he was like, whoever vandalized this machine clearly had understanding on how this technology works, because the parts that they vandalized were very significant to the functioning of the machine. But then later, when you go on his website, the military got involved and started funding. So maybe he struck a deal with them, because I was kind of waiting on them to unalive the man, because I was like, whoa, hold up, let me go back to the website. Because anytime somebody invents something like that could benefit the masses and make people not have to depend on the powers that be, where that technology could be duplicated to where people could become self-sufficient, the wicked don't want that. They want everybody to be plugged in, so to speak, needing the infrastructure that they set up. That's their whole agenda. Now they'll afford technology like Neuralink, obviously, because that's still going to tie people into their system. So you have here the United States Marines emblem, Edwin R. So yeah, the military got involved with them. Okay, so maybe they're kind of limiting how much he could do, But yeah, they'll afford technology like Neuralink, because eventually that's going to lead to everybody having to bow, right? The MOTB. But things like this, to where water can be made free. Things like plastic being converted to fuel, which is the other young man here, Julian. And see here, yeah, Julian Brown. Yeah. So they linked him up with Julian, and I think they're under like the same organization, as far as like the Moses West Foundation. They're supported by, they got like government contracts. I think he's kind of now with under that umbrella, the Julian Brown kid. They're not going to let them be independent and start pushing this out and push that technology. Because he even in this interview, he's talking about, oh, I have a plan to make an industrial sized version of my machine that takes plastic and makes a diesel fuel, which is a direct threat to big oil. And they're not going to let that slide. They're not going to let people have alternatives, because if he's able to do that, it's not just the big oil companies. He could strike a deal with countries in the East. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'll make my machines, and you pay me. You guys have an alternative fuel. You don't have to buy. You don't have to deal with the West as much. You could do a bunch. You can make a country self-sufficient with these two inventions, being able to have diesel fuel and unlimited water just from the air, right? You can go into a desert country and make that country self-sufficient. You could go to, you know what I mean, in a place that could be completely detached from this web that the wicked has created. They're not interested in that. Okay, so they didn't unalive these guys, but they did get involved with them to where they have contracts with these men where they probably can't do the things on the scale that they want to. All right, let's go back to this little video clip here. So it's able to take the diesel fuel that he made and generate energy and power for that machine that creates water from nothing. So it's not that Jake is that we're incapable of coming together and being a people. One, the Lord, it's in the curses that the Lord isn't going to allow us to deliver ourselves. Two, the wicked is in the way. It's not time for us to rule. It's not time for us to be sovereign. Okay. So anybody in the mind frame of we got to build here, the Lord, that's not how the Lord wants things to go down. It's going to go down his way and on his time. Okay. But let me read this precept for you guys here. Let me pull it up. This is Sirach 39 and 26. It says the principal things for the whole use of a man's life are water, right? And the man was able to create that machine that generates water from nothing, right? Fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. Now, with the invention where you could create water, man, with that as a country, with that as a country, if you had a sovereign piece of land and you had your people on it, you being able to have that technology and generate water from nothing, that would in itself allow your economy to be booming on a world scale. Okay. Obviously, the devil, he probably has. I'm pretty sure he has technology to where he's already been able to do these things, but it's not being released onto the common folk, to the people, because again, that kind of technology, being accessible and available to the common folk will make the common folk what, self-sufficient, and that doesn't play into the plans of the wicked. That doesn't play into their agenda, what they're trying to do. They need everybody to be dependent on them so that they can go forward with that new world order agenda that they're trying to establish. So everybody could be subservient to them. This is the threat of self-sufficiency, and this is why it's not going to happen, you know, on our people's time. They're trying to build here. It's not going to happen that way. It's not going to go down. Okay, so the minds, the inventions, the 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 wherewithal to do particular things is there, but the Lord ain't with it, so it ain't gonna work. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, so like it says here in Deuteronomy 28 and 48, it says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, so you don't have to go to these people for your food, and in thirst for your water, and in nakedness for your clothing, textile companies, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And our people have been destroyed mentally, man. 2/3 of our people are through, and they're at a point of no return. You understand? So it's in the curses that we're gonna have to depend on our enemies for all of these things. And these curses are valid up until when? Does anyone know the answer? Let's go to Revelation 22. And we'll just go there. All right. The curses are valid until the kingdom of heaven is being established. All right. This is talking about when the kingdom of heaven is established. Verse 3, it says, and then, Salakia, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it. All right, the kingdom of heaven, our rulership. All right, a government, kingdom of heaven, a government being ruled by the family from the heavens. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. So upon the Lord's return and the kingdom of heaven being established, that's when the curses are lifted. So this, right, what we read in Deuteronomy 28:48 is going to be valid even now. Okay, so it is you're not going to escape these curses of your own accord. All right, even when you go to the last verse, like we all, like you all know, one of the first precepts you learn when you come into this truth. So, like, you bear with me. All right, so the word there for Deuteronomy 28:60, word, the word by, okay, is the word quanah, right? And it's the definition I want you to lock in on here. It says of God originating, creating, redeeming, right? Redeeming his people. All right. See, when you go back in the history, it says what? In ancient Israel, blood relatives of a slave were permitted to buy their freedom. And this was considered a duty of the next of kin. This practice was known as Yiddish Hebrew. Yeah, let me see here. Well, that's all they got on it. But yeah, it was a custom to where a relative could come redeem you. Okay, so right here in Deuteronomy 28:68, it says nobody's going to redeem you. So there's not going to be some figure that stands up and takes you back. That right is reserved unto Yahweh Shai. That's who we are to look for. And a lot of people, even unto this day, they diminish the importance of who was given that part in the Lord's movie. Yahweh, it wasn't given to any of us, wasn't given to any man who's going to return as a man. Okay, it was given unto Yahweh Shai, who's not going to meet the people as a man when he returns. He already did that. Okay, so let's continue on here. All right, so we go to Habakkuk 2, and we'll start at verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And right now, man, it's not tarrying at all. Many of the major prophecies we see playing out, the foundations of them playing out right now. All right. Verse 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All right. Talking about the wicked here. They're perverted in spirit. Verse 5. Yeah, also because and when I say the wicked, I'm talking about the people who are referred to as the wicked. Okay, Esau, Edom. I think here in Habakkuk, he was I think he was talking about the Chaldees who were also Edomites. Or again, behold, his soul which is lifted up was not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, meaning the philosophy that he pushes, not the literal wine that you drink. Right? You go to Revelation 18:3 talks about them making the nations drunk with their wine, their philosophies, and they all got rich through the abundance of their delicacies, right? So not the literal wine that you drink, but the philosophies that they push, the infrastructure that they've encouraged the nations to be a part of. Okay, that counsel to go forth with the new world order and to eliminate or cut the cords of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because that cord locks them into the prophecies, which puts them in a position of servitude in the kingdom of heaven. All right, so you go to Psalms 83, it talks about, how the nations are confederate together against us, right? And they come together because they understand the power of the one true God and their place in the grand scheme of things. So they're trying to escape that destiny, right? So they come up with a way of philosophy to try to override these prophecies that the Lord has set in place. That's all entangled in that wine that they push. All right. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also because they transgressive by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell. So when you talk about the Edomites, well, let's bring it down to a lower level. The America, okay, they have military bases in every nation under heaven, right? They have military bases relatively close to any nation you can name. They have a military base within the realms. If they don't have a military base there, they have a proxy group that they fund who could destabilize your country or get to you. You understand? You could be touched. Um, that's just America. But Edomites as a whole, they've you talk about even Russia. They have ties with the countries that don't agree with America. They lean on Russia, but Russia, they're Edomites too. So they neither keep it at home, man. They're involved with all the people in some way, shape, form. All right. Who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. Okay, this man is the carnate. You get in bed with him, you make deals with him. He's gonna lead you down a contrary path against our Lord, which is death. The conditions of death follow him. Okay, hellish conditions. Hell and heaven are living conditions. Hellish conditions follow this man wherever he's the board of wickedness, like the scriptures say, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Now, the point I want to key in on in there is in scripture here is but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Why? You gotta ask, okay, it's saying this, but why is this the wicked's initiative? Because they need everybody to be dependent on them. They don't need people to be self-sufficient. If they're gonna go forward with being like the most high, like it talks about in Isaiah 14, like to talk about in 2 Thessalonians 2, 3, and 4, right? This man has a God complex. He wants to be like the Most High. To be like the Most High, you have to have dominion of the people, dominion over the minds of the people, dominion over the resources in the earth. Okay. So his agenda, there's no room for the masses of people or any people being self-sufficient, being outside of his domain if he's to complete his plan. You understand? So there's self-sufficiency is a threat. So these men that came up with these beautiful inventions, these Israelite men, if they didn't get in the pocket with this guy, they would have been removed in some way, shape, or form. All right. Our deliverance isn't going to come here on this side. We're not going to deliver ourselves, regardless of, the wherewithal, the knowledge, the talents that we've been blessed with. Our only hope of escape and winning and overcoming is turning to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's the only way. You can't get salvation or deliverance any other way. And we don't want to build anything here anyway, because this place is what? Temporary. Let's go to it. I'll get it in Peter's. All right. So we go to 2 Peter 3, and I'll start at verse 9, really 10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. We know that thermonuclear destruction, so like it is prophesied in the scriptures. That's going to play out. And we see the makings of it happening with the conflicts brewing in the earth, right? And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, seeing then that this kingdom and this world and society, the infrastructure is temporary, that it's not going to last, it's coming to a halt. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for the hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, right, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Our focus is the world to come, not the world that is. Okay? So there's no investments in this place to be had. None of it is going to matter. You get me? So with that being said, I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. I want to give double honors to apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your house. All right.